Now we can go to new releases.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Should we just kick that off right now?
Yeah, let's do it. I got my copy in the mail, and it's up there for a week.
I do not have this game at all, so let's talk about it.
Okay, now before we start talking about it, I played about 4 or 5 hours, maybe?
I heard the game's like 9,000 hours long, unless you pay money, and then it gets cut down to like 30.
8 hours.
8 hours?
It's actually, it finishes the game as soon as you...
Is that what it does?
No. So, I just want to ask, what's the last Assassin's Creed game that you guys have played?
I think Black Flag was the last one I played.
That you even played at all for even like a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Ship?
I've forgotten the order of which these games have come out.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
I definitely played Black Flag, and I may have played the one after Syndicate. I played a little bit of Syndicate, and then I totally bought Assassin's Creed
Egypt?
The one
Pyramids?
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Pyramids, and I have not cracked the seal on that one, and it is joined on the shelf by Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay. So first of all, Mrs. Chibi and I have been playing it together, or she just watches, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's held her interest, which usually does not happen. And I think that's mostly because this game seems to be more RPG than ever, in that, I only played like a very short amount of Assassin's Creed Pyramids, but you're constantly getting loot in terms of weapons and armor, and it's like helmets, arm guards, leg guards, all kinds of stuff. So and it's dress up, so you see the changes, and as you swap out the different pieces of armor.
Are we sure the last one wasn't also called Odyssey?
It was Origins.
Origins, okay.
Odyssey A and Odyssey B.
Origins are our 15th game in the series. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, I know. They're trying to trick people. So it seems to be more RPG than ever, and you've got the skill tree, but you have more flexibility, it seems, to fill out that skill tree than other games. Again, I'm not an expert on the more recent Assassin's Creed
They still do that dumb nonsense where you start off in the future
for like 5 seconds,
and then you got to put a helmet
like a minute.
on.
It was a minute. Like they get into the machine and you're good to go.
Like I don't have to walk around as the dude, right?
No.
They
later.
killed him in one of the games.
I think later you probably have to, but at least the beginning, no. You just jump right in. The graphics are amazing. Ancient Greece is definitely a great place to set a game. I feel like if you haven't played the previous games, you'll enjoy this one more because we talked about this, I think, the last show, that Forza Horizon 4 is so great, right? Like amazing game. But if you played Forza Horizon 3, it's only incrementally better. Okay, both games still great, but some of the shock about how amazing the game is will be worn off because you played the game from the previous game, and it's just not that much different. So I feel like the longer it's been since you played an Assassin's Creed game, the more you're going to like this. Because they seem to have really gotten everything down, including the story. The writing seems better. Like there's funny lines, there's funny scenes, there's heart, there's like emotional scenes, there seems to be a heart to the game. I'm really impressed so far. Really impressed. And as as a video game advisor to the stars, the big Hollywood stars, Kumail Nanjiani reached out to me to ask if it was good to jump into the new Assassin's Creed game if he hadn't played the last few. And
you said, new phone, who dis?
And I said it would, I told him I thought he would enjoy it more, actually, if he hadn't played the previous ones. Why is he sending me messages?
Because he likes you.
But how? Why? Why not you?
I don't know. No one likes me. That's part of the reason.
I still
also,
don't
I don't
know.
have the game.
Did he listen to the CAGcast at one point when he was doing? Because he did a gaming podcast.
Yes, he did
years
the
ago.
Indoor Kids, which was very good.
So maybe we inspired him to do that show.
I think that we're the sole inspiration for his entire career.
Probably the Big Sick was inspired by us as well.
Yeah, that's the story of us.
He heard about your mental problems, not being able to cry in movies and can't handle surprises.
That's basically it.
Anyway, that was we got some other Assassin's.
Maybe it'll be a good deal on the Black Fridays, and I'll pick it up.
Sure, I mean,
these Assassin's Creed games never drop in price.
Exactly. Like, although I still haven't, Origin still hasn't quite hit my sweet spot.
It hit
yet.
really low because that's when I picked it up.
You got the gold edition for like
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was at Target
40.
when they
30 or 40?
30.
30. If I saw the gold edition for my Target, didn't have that. So,
Which, speaking of that, I picked up the premium edition of Ni no Kuni at Target because that
for $19.99 I saw.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
That is a great.
Let me go through some of these questions from our listeners about Assassin's
Okay.
Creed. This is from Papagino, 1961. Big fan of your pizza. Please discuss Assassin's Creed Odyssey and whether the level gating means you have to grind too much if you don't want to buy the permanent XP boost microtransaction. Some people they had written in and had heard that even in the very beginning of the game, that if you don't buy the XP boosters, that you're going to be doing a lot of grinding because, your character is a certain level and the quests are a certain level. And if your character is not at that level, it makes it very difficult, if not impossible, to do those quests. But I never once considered even looking into the store to check out the XP boosters. I'm looking at this game like a pretty standard RPG in which that's basically par for the course, regardless if there's any microtransactions or not. That's how RPGs work, do they not? You level your guy up so he can be more powerful, so you can do the missions and repeat. So I don't see that at the beginning of the game. I don't see any need or even, I didn't think anything was up whatsoever. I have no idea what happens later in the game. Like I said, I'm only 5 hours in or something. But no, I don't, and I don't see any problem. And at Dirk Fett writes in, he says, I'm a little over 20 hours in, and like any RPG I played, I do the side quests. At this point, I'm ahead of the level curve. Side quests are just part of playing an RPG. I don't see why people bitch so much about it. And then on the other hand, at Brian Hackney writes in and says, they have gone completely off the rails. I don't understand how people can crucify EA for microtransactions in Battlefront 2 when Ubi has to put out a damn chart for all their games so you know what you aren't getting because you can't afford the most expensive version.
I agree. I don't disagree with that one, by the way.
That's something he's not talking about the microtransactions.
I know, but it does feel like Ubisoft gets a free pass. Like people, if EA, which they do pull this nonsense.
Yeah,
I mean, I was looking because it's on sale this week. I wasn't gonna buy it, but it's on sale on the Xbox Live Gold. Was the super edition of Madden 19,
right?
And just for my own curiosity, I wanted to see what was included with it. Boy, do they don't give you anything. Even in the super duper version of that game, it's you get to choose one of 7 Hall of Famers.
Oh, for your ultimate team?
Game. You don't even get all 7 for $100. No.
Hockey's the same way. It was super cheap.
You only get you choose.
Who did you choose?
I didn't buy it. I don't know who I would choose though. I don't know who the choices are either. So I guess that kind of helps.
Anthony Munoz.
Yeah, exactly.
I chose an offensive lineman because he's the only Hall of Famer from the Bengals.
So I get why people are upset about the microtransactions in Assassin's Creed. It sounds like nefarious, and the reality
is.
The reality is, it's kind of predatory, regardless of whether or not any difficulty was adjusted to try to encourage the purchase of the microtransactions.
The perception's already out there.
The perception is out there, which is bad, but
how's that game that you play that they want you to buy all the operators in?
Rainbow Six.
Yeah, how's that?
Yeah, and again, that's the same. It's the same thing.
They have XP boosters in that too.
They do.
That one, I feel like, I probably do need those.
That game's a free to play game that they charge you for.
Yeah, totally.
It seems to be working out all right for them.
Yeah,
and that's just it. Is that people are like, yeah, but this is different because. because we're all hypocrites.
Right. So the problem is they put these XP boosters in, and let's say they are innocuous in that the gameplay difficulty was not changed at all if there weren't any. But even still, I don't know that makes it necessarily okay. There are people out there who, I don't know, they can't help it, right? They're just like, oh, I see this and I guess I got to buy it. And I don't know. It's hard to feel good about that. Even if they haven't done anything more nefarious, like try to encourage it through the design.
What if you look at this in a different light and put a positive spin on it, that it encourages you to do the side quests, that encourages you to play the game that you bought to the fullest?
It's a big ass game.
Well,
sure.
You're getting your money's worth.
I think, yeah. I don't want to say too much because I just haven't played that much and I like to be kind of educated. But for now, I haven't even looked at the microtransaction store. So yeah, really like the game so far. It's really good.